Okay, and we're getting ready to go off and do the retopoing here. I'm just going to do some more proportional adjustments here and there on this guy. But the idea behind this is that when we do the retopo and stuff, there's a lot of these curvy, more ornate forms, and really with like normal maps and stuff, you really need to worry about the silhouette, the interior details and stuff. The normal maps typically will just catch. So we're going to go through and execute on that kind of concept. And again, the Z remesher, or just doing the extract, the surface extract, and then reprojecting back down, decimating, kind of cleaning up, smoothing out the extra surfaces. It honestly works really, really well. I know it's a little strange to kind of see that as a kind of a valid workflow, but it really does work, and you can really lay down a lot of track really quickly with it. And remember, you want to kind of go in and be diligent, and this is kind of a bunch of things where you're going to go back and forth with it, right? Like you're going to smooth the surfaces out, reproject, decimate, smooth the surfaces, decimate, reproject, kind of this back and forth kind of workflow. And, it is faster, in my opinion, than retopoing. Like I literally took this, I did this off camera, I started retopoing half of this thing, and I was like, yeah, I mean, you could arguably, do a lower res, like, kind of typical in-game shell with this thing pretty quickly. But to try and get a lot of that surface deviation and some of those curvature things that the little filigrees and stuff have, it's a pain in the ass. And even if you don't get it one for one, having kind of some of those bumps and stuff within the VR space helps a shitload. It really does. It sounds ridiculous, but I mean, having like the surface and the geometry detail, it really does matter. And for those of you guys who have had experienced some stuff with VR, it really does make a big difference. So you don't have to take my word for it, but I think that's from Reading Rainbow. I realized I'm getting older because there are some people who don't know what Reading Rainbow is. Yep. Show on public broadcasting stations in the U.S. It's about reading, really, really nice. It's about books. I can't talk because I don't really read much at all. If I read, it's like shit online and 3ds Max and like modeling stuff. I'm pretty boring when it comes to that kind of thing. Pretty much all non-fictional stuff, with the exception of the news. Heyo. It's gonna get weird. No, I'm just kidding. It's not gonna get weird. So I'm just gonna go through here and clean this guy up. And again, this process, it's a lot of back and forth. Like I ripped this thing more times than what I show you guys. I ripped this a few different times. And all of it's designed to try and figure out where the warping and stuff is coming from. Because if you remember back to our normal map intro and stuff, warping can be caused primarily from the cage being distorted, right? And with this method, you can run into that. So you do have to be careful with that. And, to fix it, there's a lot of base tweaking and that kind of thing. And, you really do rely heavily on clean UVs. But this method of going in, kind of decimating it and then re-cleaning up the UVs, it really helps you maintain the silhouette detail, which is super important for VR stuff in general. It really does help. So, and you want to be strategic about it. You don't want to, spend your polys on a bunch of stupid stuff. And again, this is a one-off asset, and the way it's used in my scene, I could, drop it pretty quickly when you leave the zone or whatever. So you want to think about that as well as, how can you drop assets and stuff so it's not loaded on the GPU when it's not needed. Or, sorry, it's not drawn when it's not needed. And pick a resolution that you're comfortable with. Some of these assets, a couple hundred tries, 700 tries, 1,000 triangles, 2,000 triangles even. Depending on the asset, it may need it. It may need it. I don't ever give poly count information because not the website, but like actual poly count, the actual triangle counts. because it's all nebulous, and it depends on your pipeline, depends on so many different things. It doesn't really make much sense for a guy in a video to go, oh, this has to be 500 tries, and that's all you can do. That's bullshit. That is just not the way it is. So we're going to load this in. The video is going to cut out before the actual normal mapping process starts. So, there that is. That went oddly smooth. Hopefully I capture the rest of it. All right, guys, I'll talk back with you in just a few. Peace.